At least 6 people have been killed after a newly installed pedestrian bridge collapsed onto 8 lanes of traffic at Florida International University on Thursday. Cars were waiting for the lights to change when the 950-ton Instant Bridge, which was installed in just 6 hours on Saturday, crumbled onto 8th Street, which runs from downtown Miami all the way to the Everglades. 5 people were pronounced dead at the scene, while a 6th died after being taken to hospital, a Miami-Dade police spokesman said. It was earlier reported that 10 people were taken to hospital, 2 in an extremely critical condition, with 8 others in a stable condition. Crews initially used electric listening devices and sniffer dogs to search the rubble for survivors but called those efforts off around 3 a.m. on Friday, saying they did not expect to find anyone else alive. At least 8 cars remain trapped under the ruined bridge, emergency workers said, though it is not clear how many people were in those vehicles. While the cause of the collapse is not yet clear, Senator Marco Rubio tweeted that steel cables supporting the bridge were being tightened at the time it came down. He said the cables that suspend the Miami Bridge had loosened, and the engineering firm ordered that they be tightened. They were being tightened when it collapsed today. Robert B., a Berkeley engineer and catastrophic risk expert, told the Miami Herald that this process has caused bridges to collapse before, pointing to a bridge in Australia that was destroyed in the 1970s when the steel buckled as it was being adjusted. 2 workers were on the bridge at the time it collapsed as part of the testing, officials said, but would not confirm whether they were among the dead. Gov. Rick Scott said an investigation will get to the bottom of why this happened and what happened, adding that if anyone had done anything wrong, we will hold them accountable. The 174-foot Instant Bridge, hailed as a feat of engineering and safety, was installed Saturday morning but was not due to open to the public until 2019. The $14.2 million structure was designed to withstand a Category 5 hurricane and built to last 100 years, the university said. It was constructed using a building method known as accelerated bridge construction, which Florida International University teaches, though its engineers were not involved in this project. The technique involves supporting columns being constructed at either side of a highway and the span being built at the roadside before it is lifted into place in a matter of hours. The method is more expensive than traditional bridge building, but means the roadway running underneath can be kept open during the construction. The National Transportation Safety Board was sending a team to investigate why it collapsed. "We're working our way into the pile trying to create holes that we can actually physically see," Miami-Dade Fire Department Division Chief Paul Estopian told reporters. Television images captured from helicopter show numerous cars crushed by the weight of the bridge. Susie Bermudez told ABC News she was in the line of traffic when she saw the cars in front of her totally smashed, almost to the ground by the falling debris. "It fell on the cars that were waiting for the light to change," she said. "All of a sudden, I saw it collapse. It was in slow motion." Firm that built Miami's Insta Bridge is being sued for a walkway collapse at Fort Lauderdale Airport in 2016, while their partner was fined $28,000 when a 90-ton section of a rail bridge fell and injured 4 in 2012. The 2 largest construction firms involved in building a newly installed pedestrian bridge that collapsed, killing up to 10, have a history of serious safety breaches. Both companies have been accused of shoddy work in the past after incidents in which they were each accused of being responsible for other bridges that have collapsed. A 90-ton portion of the South Norfolk Jordan Bridge assembled by FIG collapsed during construction in 2012. It dropped 40 feet to the ground onto railroad tracks below, according to the Virginian Pilot. 4 people were injured, and authorities called it pure luck no one was killed. A temporary walkway bridge built by Munilla collapsed under a Transportation Security Administrator's weight in 2016, severely injuring him. The previous incident involving Munilla went before a Florida court on March 5 this year. FIG's partner in the project, Munilla Construction, also released a statement on Thursday. Jose Perez, a TSA worker, was walking along the temporary walkway that airport workers would utilize to reach restrooms at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport when it broke under his weight and sent him falling to the ground, according to the Miami New Times. They built this makeshift bridge in the area where all the employees work, and it was poorly done. He fell and hurt himself really badly, said Tesha Allison, a lawyer representing Perez. He had multiple broken bones and damage to his spine. They did shoddy work. Munilla was also cited by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration for at least 3 serious violations from 2014 to 2017, however more information on the violations is not available online. The previous FIG incident appears hauntingly similar in scope to the FU incident on Thursday. While 4 workers suffered only minor injuries, state regulators later declared it was only chance that there were no fatalities. They were fortunate that the injuries were not more serious. Jay Withrow, director of the Legal Support Division for the Department of Labor and Industry, told the Virginian Pilot regarding the Jordan Bridge collapse. FIG was fined $28,000 by the Virginia Department of Labor and Industry after finding the company violated several safety rules. The serious violations uncovered include workers not properly trained, modifications made to equipment without permission, and more than 440 inspections missed or undocumented, according to a Freedom of Information request obtained by WTKR. State investigators found that FIG did not follow manufacturer maintenance guidelines to launch what is called the girder system used to build the bridge piece by piece. Additionally, they made modifications to the girder system specifically against the policy of its manufacturer. According to the citation, the manual for the truss says, "Make no modifications to the machinery without the written consent of Deal." News Channel 3 called Deal's offices down in Florida, and the Italian company said they sold the girder system to FIG for construction of a completely different bridge and were never contacted about any changes. It's important to note that the Vosh investigation does not say if these serious violations actually led up to or caused the truss collapse. Investigators say all the violations were fixed during inspection, but those inspections all happened after the June accident. FIG was later sued in federal court by the owner of the railroad tracks, Norfolk and Portsmouth Railroad Company, but that case was dismissed with prejudice in December 2013. Few in the companies which built the bridge boasted of the speed of its construction, which was aimed at reducing the traffic burden on the busy thoroughfare, according to the Miami New Times. The bridge's planning was done at FU's very own Accelerated Bridge Construction University Transportation Center. This accelerated bridge construction technique reduced potential risks to workers, commuters and pedestrians and prevented traffic tie-ups in the area, FU wrote in a press release from 5 days ago. ABC is a delivery solution method of building and repairing bridges with the capability to reduce the interruption to traffic and increase safety, the center writes on its website. Manila won the bid to build the bridge, beating out 3 other companies, according to the Miami New Times. FEW has deleted statements on social media and press releases from earlier this week touting the construction of the bridge. This bridge is the result of great support from our congressional delegation and the U.S. Department of Transportation, FEW Senior Vice President and CFO Kenneth Jessel announced over the weekend. This bridge has already been the catalyst for significant economic development in the city of Sweetwater. FEW and our surrounding community will benefit from this project for generations to come. The bridge was built at a cost of $14 million and was funded by the federal government, was touted by the school as an achievement when it was completed last Saturday. "I couldn't process it until I actually jumped out of my car," Bermudez continued, adding she saw just one survivor who escaped after the bridge smashed just the back of his car. An investigation is now underway into the cause of the tragedy. Miami-based MCM worked with FIG Bridge Design to develop the bridge, which was supposed to be strong enough to withstand a powerful hurricane. MCM's litigation for alleged shoddy work at Fort Lauderdale International Airport and FIG Bridge Design's alleged safety violations have emerged in the wake of the collapse. Meanwhile, the search effort continued late into the night on Thursday as rescue crews, with sniffer dogs, combed the rubble for survivors. Gov. Rick Scott and Rubio both said that they were prepared to hold anyone responsible for the tragedy accountable. "The families and the survivors deserve to know what went wrong," Rubio told Local 10. "Ironically, this bridge was designed for safety. It was going to be a signature project and one of its kind in terms of its engineering design," he said. "The public deserves to know, and the families deserve to know, and the people who lost their lives deserve to know what went wrong. These people doing the engineering studies will tell us what went wrong. It will prevent something like this from happening again, because we learn from those things. We're going to do everything we can for the victims," Scott said. "There will clearly be an investigation into why this happened, and we will hold anyone accountable if anything was done wrong, but the most important thing we can do right now is pray for the individuals who ended up in the hospital and the family members who lost loved ones." Cars were waiting for the lights to change when the 950-ton Instant Bridge, which was installed in just 6 hours on Saturday, crumbled and fell on the waiting traffic on the busy 7-lane 8th Street, which runs from downtown Miami all the way to the Everglades. A motorist captured the aftermath seconds after the collapse as the bridge disappeared and dust rose from the rubble. The National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, said they are launching an investigation on Thursday. Fire Chief Dave Downey confirmed 4 were found dead among the rubble of the bridge as rescuers continued to hunt for survivors. Some workers were on the bridge when it collapsed, but officials did not detail whether any of them were among the dead. He said search and rescue mode is continuing after nightfall. Gov. Rick Scott also spoke to reporters, saying everybody is working hard to make sure we rescue anyone who can be rescued, adding that an investigation will get to the bottom of why this happened and what happened. "If anyone had done anything wrong, we will hold them accountable," he added. 10 people were rushed to Kendall Regional Medical Center, at least 2 in extremely critical condition. One of those who arrived in critical condition was suffering a cardiac arrest but was revived by doctors, while the other has a serious brain injury. The remaining 8 were stable, with injuries such as bruises and abrasions to broken bones. The 174-foot instant bridge, hailed as a feat of engineering and safety, was installed Saturday morning but was not due to open to the public until 2019. The $14.2 million structure was designed to withstand a Category 5 hurricane, the most dangerous measure by the National Hurricane Center, and built to last 100 years, the university said. The National Transportation Safety Board was sending a team to investigate why it collapsed. "We're working our way into the pile, trying to create holes that we can actually physically see," Miami-Dade Fire Department Division Chief Paul Estopian told reporters. The Florida Highway Patrol has said several people were killed but did not release a figure on fatalities. Rescue teams are working to free 8 vehicles were trapped in the bridge wreckage, Miami-Dade County Mayor Carlos Gimenez said in an interview with CBS Miami. One person was suffering from cardiac arrest, Gimenez said. Television images captured from helicopter show numerous cars crushed by the weight of the bridge. Susie Bermudez told ABC News she's been in the line of traffic when she saw the cars in front of her totally smashed, almost to the ground by the falling debris. "It fell on the cars that were waiting for the light to change," she said. "All of a sudden, I saw it collapse. It was in slow motion. I couldn't process it until I actually jumped out of my car," Bermudez continued, adding she saw just one survivor who escaped after the bridge smashed just the back of his car. At one point, police had requested television helicopters to leave the area so rescuers could hear for any sounds of people crying for help from beneath the collapsed structure, the Miami TV station said. Complicating the rescue effort was the uncertainty about the integrity of the bridge, parts of which remained off the ground, much of it inclined, local media reported. Miami-Dade County Fire Chief Dave Downey says his crew are using high-tech listening devices, trained sniffing dogs, search cameras and other equipment in the frantic race to find any survivors still trapped in the rubble of the South Florida pedestrian bridge collapse. Downey told a news conference Thursday evening that the work is dangerous and difficult but is continuing. He says his crews have traveled to building collapses elsewhere in the world but now are working as fast as they can. Says Downey, "We have to remove some of this piece by piece." It's very unstable. Aerial footage at the site showed a trained dog running atop fallen concrete and sniffing in the crevices for any victims. Sen. Marco Rubio of Florida joined first responders and Gov. Rick Scott at the briefing. He says he lamented the tragic accident and noted the pedestrian bridge was intended to be an innovative and one-of-a-kind engineering design. He says the public and the families of the dead and injured deserve to know what went wrong. President Trump has also tweeted that he is monitoring the situation in Florida and praised the brave responders who have been saving lives. Continuing to monitor the heartbreaking bridge collapse at Few, so tragic. Many brave first responders rushed in to save lives. "Thank you for your courage. Praying this evening for all who are affected," he wrote. White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders said today in a media briefing that our brave first responders are working feverishly to save lives. "We will continue to monitor the situation closely and offer whatever support is needed to the local officials and community." Florida Gov. Rick Scott tweeted that he was traveling to Florida International University to be briefed by local law enforcement and university officials. "I have spoken with Miami-Dade County Police Chief Juan Perez about the pedestrian bridge collapse at Few. "I will be in constant communication with law enforcement throughout the day," he added. Mark Rosenberg, president of Florida International University, said in a message to students and staff that he was heartbroken by the news. "I am heartbroken at the news of the collapse of the pedestrian bridge on 8th Street and the resulting devastation. We send our deepest condolences to the victims and their families. We are working with the appropriate agencies to assist in rescue efforts. Please keep the victims and their families in your thoughts and prayers." He said that the bridge had been a source of pride for the community. "This bridge was about collaboration, was about hope, was about opportunity, was about determination," Rosenberg said at the news conference. "This bridge was about strength and unity. About being good neighbors with the city of Sweetwater." The bridge was designed by FIG and built by Munilla Construction, two companies who have been accused in years past of shoddy building practices. Students at FU had demanded for months that the bridge be built because of the danger in crossing the busy 7-lane Tamiami Trail Highway. Images also show a number of emergency rescue workers crawling along the rubble in an attempt to spot survivors. It was built to provide pedestrian access from FU's main campus to an area that houses a number of student residences. Two workers were replacing something on the side of the bridge when it collapsed, according to CBS Miami. The 950-ton span, which was built over Tamiami Trail at a cost of $14 million, was not yet open to pedestrians. It was scheduled to open sometime early next year. Tamiami Trail is considered a busy roadway, and the bridge was built in order to accommodate students who were fearful of crossing the highway. Last summer, a FU student was killed after he was hit by a car while crossing the highway, according to the Miami Herald. The tragedy amplified student demands for the bridge's prompt completion. Miami-Dade County Emergency Management confirmed the collapse and urged the public to avoid the area near SW 8th Street and 109th Avenue. "We thought something fell," Damini Reed, who witnessed the collapse, told CBS Miami. "But then we saw the bridge collapse and it was just surreal at that moment. It was very scary. Me and my boyfriend had just driven under the bridge," witness Isabella Carrasco told CBSN. "We actually commented on how new it was. We had heard a loud bang. At first, we thought we had hit something, and when we looked around, we realized the bridge had collapsed. When we looked around we saw that it was much, much worse." Lionel Collins, another witness, said he was pretty shaken after he rescued a number of people from their cars. "After the whole thing broke, I was freaking out," Collins told CNN. "I got out of my car and me and a few other people were sprinting over there. We started helping people whose cars were at least half crushed and whoever was easily saved. But we couldn't really go under any of the rubble because at the time, the bridge, the other half of the bridge, is still kind of leaning upward right now." One girl, her car was literally squished by the bridge from the back, one witness said. So she was able to get out. We were trying to help her. It was very traumatizing. Student Aura Martinez was having lunch in a nearby restaurant with her mother when a waitress told her the bridge had collapsed. She ran outside and helped pull a woman out of her car, most of which was flattened by the bridge. Her car, it was literally a miracle of God. Her car got squished by the bridge from the back, so she was able to get out, And she was on the floor, and it was just very traumatic, she told the local CBS affiliate. Manila Construction Management, which installed the bridge, was founded in 1983 and owned by 5 brothers, according to its website. In addition to its Florida operations, the company also has divisions in Texas and Panama and employs 500 people. Manila Construction Management is a family business and we are all devastated and doing everything we can to assist, the company said in a statement. FIG Engineering said it took part in the bridge project and the collapse was a first in its 40-year history. Both companies said they would cooperate fully with investigators. Colorado-based engineering company BDI said in a tweet on March 12 that it was thrilled to have conducted structural monitoring during the spectacular process of moving the bridge into place. The company removed the tweet on Thursday and said in a statement it did so out of respect for individuals affected by the collapse. FIU released a statement on Thursday, saying, "We are shocked and saddened about the tragic events unfolding at the FIU Sweetwater pedestrian bridge. At this time we are still involved in rescue efforts and gathering information. The bridge and its support towers took months to construct," according to the Miami Herald. The main body of the span was assembled along the site of the Tamiami Trail, with support towers built at each end. In the early hours of Saturday morning, the bridge was then lifted by special gantry cranes and lowered into place. The portion of the roadway underneath the bridge was closed for the weekend. It reopened early Monday morning. A Colorado-based engineering firm, BDI, deleted a tweet on Monday that said it was thrilled to have provided structural monitoring during a spectacular bridge move. The bridge, which was built at a cost of $14 million and was funded by the federal government, was touted by the school as an achievement when it was completed last Saturday. Planners had envisioned the bridge as a new complex which would provide new sidewalks, a plaza, benches, tables, shade, and Wi-Fi. The bridge was touted as part of overall efforts to revitalize Sweetwater, a city in Dade County. Private developers were also planning to build apartment towers to cater to FIU students, according to the Herald. FIU is about building bridges and student safety, FIU President Mark Rosenberg said on Saturday. This project accomplishes our mission beautifully. We are filled with pride and satisfaction at seeing this engineering feat come to life and connect our campus to the surrounding community where thousands of our students live. The school and the company which built the bridge boasted of the speed of its construction, which was aimed at reducing the traffic burden on the busy thoroughfare, according to the Miami New Times. The bridge's planning was done at FIU's very own Accelerated Bridge Construction University Transportation Center. This accelerated bridge construction technique reduced potential risks to workers, commuters and pedestrians and prevented traffic tie-ups in the area, FIU wrote in a press release from 5 days ago. ABC is a delivery solution method of building and repairing bridges with the capability to reduce the interruption to traffic and increase safety, the center writes on its website. FIG Bridge Engineers, the Tallahassee-based company that designed the project, said the bridge was not expected to be open to foot traffic until sometime next year. "We are stunned by today's tragic collapse of a pedestrian bridge that was under construction over Southwest 8th Street in Miami," FIG Bridge Engineers said in a statement. "Our deepest sympathies are with all those affected by this accident. We will fully cooperate with every appropriate authority in reviewing what happened and why." "In our 40-year history, nothing like this has ever happened before. Our entire team mourns the loss of life and injuries associated with this devastating tragedy, and our prayers go out to all involved." FIG's partner in the project, Munilla Construction, also released a statement on Thursday. "Our family's thoughts and prayers go out to everyone affected by this terrible tragedy," Munilla said in a statement. The new University City Bridge, which was under construction, experienced a catastrophic collapse causing injuries and loss of life. "MCM is a family business and we are all devastated and doing everything we can to assist. We will conduct a full investigation to determine exactly what went wrong and will cooperate with investigators on scene in every way." The U.S. Department of Transportation also released a statement saying that "our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, their families, and first responders who are assisting in the ongoing rescue and recovery efforts following today's tragic collapse of a pedestrian bridge at Florida International University." Munilla won the bid to build the bridge, beating out 3 other companies, according to the Miami New Times. Both FIG and Munilla have been accused in years past of unsafe practices. On March 5, Munilla was sued by a TSA employee at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport who claims that a pedestrian bridge built by the firm collapsed under his weight, sending him falling to the ground. In June 2012, a bridge built by FIG in Virginia fell apart during construction, injuring 4 workers, according to the Virginian Pilot. FIU has deleted statements on social media and press releases from earlier this week touting the construction of the bridge. "This bridge is the result of great support from our congressional delegation and the U.S. Department of Transportation," FIU Senior Vice President and CFO Kenneth Jessel announced over the weekend. "This bridge has already been the catalyst for significant economic development in the city of Sweetwater. FIU and our surrounding community will benefit from this project for generations to come." A family reunification center has now been set up at FIU's Sask building at 11,200 SW 8th Street.